John, let me talk to you.
Hey, Ricky. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Just figured I'd pick your brain a little bit. It's been a little while.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time. I'm not sure why you're saying that.
I just mean in terms of like making videos on this YouTube platform. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks at least. So, how you been doing?
I'm doing all right, but I'm a little bit more concerned about you. You know, you feed me and everything, and I appreciate that. So because I get fed and I get taken on walks, and then I get taken into the camper like this, and we go places and stuff, I kind of feel like I owe it to you. Like I got to look out for you a little bit.
Well, I got to say, I appreciate that. It's very kind of you to be looking out for me in that way. But, you know, Ricky, sometimes on these walks that I take you on, sometimes you don't behave so well. I appreciate you being concerned about my well-being, but if I were to ask for anything, I would just kind of ask you not to try to kill children on these walks. You know, I mean, that's really if you want to help me out and if you want to reduce my stress level, just try not killing kids when we go on walks. Can you do that?
Nope. Can't promise that at all. You're going to have to live with that. That's just how I'm programmed, and I can't change my programming. I'm not a human. I'm a dog, and the way I am is the way I am. But humans are pretty cool because they can change their programming. Ain't that right?
Yeah, well, I think to a certain extent, we can't defy nature, but we can determine our guiding principles, if you will. We can determine what makes us us. We could make choices throughout our life that sculpt us into the adult that we wish to become. So yeah, I think so. I think we could sort of reprogram ourselves. Maybe not reprogram ourselves, but maybe program ourselves is a better way to do it. Better way to say it. Because I'm not so sure we come here fully programmed. You know what I mean? I think it's up to us to sort of make our own schematics as we go along.
Yeah, I heard you mumbling about that the other day. You're working on another book now? Is that what you're talking about here? Is this you just kind of going on some kind of soapbox here to just work your book into this conversation? I was really going to start talking about treats and, and peeing on things and stuff. And you're kind of weaseling in your book talk all of a sudden.
Well, I guess I am. I mean, it's what's on my mind. I'm thinking of this new book. I got a third one I'm starting on. I got the XLZA book, XLZABK. BK stands for book. XLZABK001 was out a couple years ago, and XLZABK002 just came out this past February. What is it now? It's the middle of April right now. And I'm starting work on XLZABK003.
All right, since you took me out of that pound and stuff, and you paid the fee, and you brought me home, and you gave me the shots and all that. Well, you took me to the place to get the shots. You don't give shots, but you took me to a place to give shots. I'll humor you a little bit here, John. Tell me about this XLZA. You know what, man? I told you before, that's a stupid title. Why are you doing this? There's a reason why you sit up at night in the middle of the night stuffing your face with donuts all night long because you're so damn depressed that your book's not selling.
Ricky, first of all, I object to that insinuation. I do not eat donuts. I am on a very strict diet. I have not had a donut for years. I don't even know why would you even tell these people that? There's no reason to make lies about what I do in the middle of the night. In fact, at night, a lot of times what I'm doing is going outside to see what in the world is attacking the house because you're out there barking at 2 o'clock in the morning at apparently nothing. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the books. I'm glad that you kind of brought it up a little bit here now. See, you're kind of working yourself into this a little bit. I'm kind of proud of you. I might give you a treat when we're all done here. But yes, XLZABK003. And I agree with you. I agree that book 1 and book 2 were stupid titles. I get it. I don't think that's the only reason that they're not, in Walmart or whatever. But I'm very confident that book 3, let's say this, I'm aiming to get book 3 into Hot Topic. If I can get it at the register of Hot Topic, I'll be satisfied. But my long-term goal, let's say my 5-year plan is to have book 3 in Hot Topic. My 10-year plan is to have book 3 in Walmart. I want those kids, when they're looking at whatever those Bible verse books are and stuff they sell at Walmart. I want them to be looking at that shelf and then right next to it have a copy of book 3 sitting there. At a really good price too, because the stuff in Walmart is pretty inexpensive. So that's my plan. But I'm going to title it differently. It is going to be XLZABK003, but it's going to be XLZABK003 : and now this is where I might change this. I'm just starting the outline of this thing, but I'm thinking Chrysós. Chrystos. Christos is the Greek word for gold. So book 1 was red, book 2 was blue, book 3 is going to be gold. That's my plan with that.
So what? All right. I'll hear you here again, man. So what's the logic? Why are you saying it's gold? You think it's gonna be like a gold record, or is it because you're such a big fan of Prince and your favorite Prince album is the Gold Experience? And you say to people like, when you think of Prince, your Prince wasn't purple, your Prince was gold. Is that what it's all about, or are you just some kind of like money hungry guy that you just want to collect a bunch of gold all the time and stuff like that?
No, it's not. I mean, what you said about Prince is true. I'm glad you know me so well, Ricky. For a dog, you're pretty insightful into my musical taste. But no, it's going to be gold because, all right, I don't want to draw a correlation to the whole Golden Dawn thing. I find a lot of that just uninteresting to me. But I know that's a thing, right? It's not that, but the gold of dawn, the gold of sunrise, the yellowy orange of the sun coming up over the horizon. That's kind of the theme for this book 3. So I've already got the cover imagined in my head. You know, you got the XLZA logo, which we got right here, right? That's XLZA, that's XLZA, right? So it'll be like coming up like as a sun coming up over like a hillside or a mountainside or something like that, nice and gold with radiating lines coming out the edges of it. Think like again, I don't want to draw. There's things I got in my brain. How could I say this? There's things that I write about that are inspired by stuff I don't like. So there was a period of time where all of those Ayn Rand books that were coming out had like a radiating sort of sun motif on them. It's kind of airbrushed, sort of like Art Nouveau, I guess, or Art Deco sort of a style, you know. That's kind of the look I'm going for on the cover of this book 3. And I'm already thinking about the cover, and I haven't even started writing it. I've just started the outline of the book so far. But that's why it's gold. In case you're wondering, Ricky, that's why it's gold, is because it's got to do with the dawn. And I think it's a good contrasting color. I thought about doing a purple one because, you know, book 1 was red, book 2 was blue, and you mix them together, you get purple. This book is going to be kind of like an amalgamation of the themes from book 1 and book 2 combined. Hopefully a more balanced, because I think book 1 was pretty heavy on the gore, and there's a thread of like nihilism in book 1 and stuff like that. It ended optimistically, but it began sort of nihilistically, and book 2 begins sort of optimistically and ended sort of nihilistically. But overall, book 2, the blue book, is a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more bright side of life sort of stuff. So I wanted to make a blend of those two things with the gold book, Chrysós. I think that's what I'm going to call it, Chrysós.
All right, I get it. Whatever makes you happy, dude. I mean, as long as you just keep on feeding me and stuff like that, that's really all I care about. Let me outside chase some squirrels around, stuff like that. You know, you can do whatever you want in these book things. Like I told you in the last video, man, I can't read anyways. All I hear about is what you're talking all the time. I know you got this secretary that lives in your house all the time. I don't know what you're paying that girl, but you need to pay her more because the poor thing, geez, oh man, she got to listen to you all day long. It's bad enough I got to listen to you, and then she got to listen to you, and then you're talking to yourself half the time. Damn, I think right now you're probably even talking to yourself. You got some bolts a little bit not tightened quite all the way. You need to put a couple lock washers inside your head there, my friend. But at any rate, whatever you want to do with this book is fine. Just keep on feeding me. So tell me then, man, what's this book going to be about then, book 3? Is it going to be another bunch of short stories? Because you know what? That didn't do you any favors either. You got a stupid title on these books, and you got a collection of short stories, and they're all mixed up. Different, what do you guys call it? Genre, you're John, genre, isn't that what you say it? all these different styles of stories and stuff like that. Nobody wants that, man. It's hard to talk about. You try to pitch that to somebody, hey, they ain't gonna tune in. They're gonna tune out, tune in, turn out, and drop out. They're gonna be like Dennis Leary. Is it Dennis Leary? Who was the guy? Who was the comedian? Was it Dennis Leary was the comedian, that Irish guy that was angry all the time? Or was it Timothy Leary? I get them Learys confused. I gotta tell you this though, John, I'm a little bit leery about this whole thing. I'm leery if you're gonna be making another book here with all these short stories in it and stuff like that, because I'm worried about you, dude. I'm really worried about you now. No, it's gonna be different too, Ricky. I promise you. I promise. This is gonna be one story. It's gonna be a big, long story. But the way my brain works is I don't like novels. I don't read novels. I can't stand them. So I want to make a novel that's not really a novel. So what it is going to be 7 chapters in this book. But each chapter is going to be based on one of the characters in the book. There's basically 7 characters in the book. And it all is going to come together. No, I'm taking that back. If there ain't, I'm correcting myself right here, Ricky. There's not 7 characters. There's like 5 characters in the book. 5 characters, but there's 7 chapters. And then chapter 6 and chapter 7 is when all 5 characters kind of come together. So like it's going to be like each story, each chapter of this book is going to be more or less a life story of the character. And then at the very end of it, it's going to be how the characters come together. So it will be a cohesive story. It's going to be, Chrysós is the title. Like, you know, I'm going to like tell people, hey, I got a new book coming out. Hey, what's it called? I'm going to say it's called Chrysós. My voice is starting to change a little bit here. I'm starting to slip in. Oh boy, I do need a lock washer on my brain. Ricky, what I'm trying to say, Ricky, is that this book is going to be called Chrysós. Is going to be one story, 7 chapters, 5 based on one each different character, and they all come together at the end. Ricky, you're going to love it. When you hear me talking about this out loud to my secretary, you're going to be flipping a lid. You're going to think it's the best thing since sliced bread. And you love sliced bread. I've fed you sliced bread. You know you love it. All right. That's fine. I think that's a better plan. And I think if you were to talk to, one of those guys up there at Penguin, they'd probably say it's a better plan. And, everybody wants to be like a penguin. As penguins, they all look the same. They all walk the same. They all do the same thing all the time. They huddle around in groups. So, they named that company Penguin for a reason, because that's what they want, a bunch of penguins working there. But that's neither here nor there, John. All right, I'm going to ask you one more question about this book, then we're going to get on to some other stuff now. Is that all right? Yeah. Hey, man, I'm tickled pink that you're even talking to me about the book. I think that's great of you. Very kind of you, Ricky. Thank you so much. What's your other question, buddy? So you talked about the theme of this thing being dawn and all that stuff, and you're going on about how you can't combat nature and everything like that. So can you just give me like a general Cineplex, Sin City, synopsis. Can you give me a synopsis of this book and tell me kind of what it's going to be about a little bit? Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. It's a book. The theme of the book is, like I said, the coming of dawn, the golden dawn, but not related to that golden dawn. If you know about the historic golden dawn, it's not related to that. Don't get it in your head. Don't get it twisted. But that's kind of like the aesthetic theme of the book. The philosophical theme of the book is that it is about one who acts in accordance with their nature. So it's like the virtue of acting in accordance with your nature, not denying your nature, but acting in accordance of your nature. To act in accordance with your fundamental nature. Everything has a fundamental nature. Living organisms like a bird, a successful bird, a bird that thrives in life, acts in accordance with what it is to be birdish, right? A great piece of, a rock that's out there. Rock has certain natural qualities about it. If the rock is soft and spongy, it's less like a rock. If the rock is hard and rigid and less porous, perhaps, it's more like a rock. So the same thing applies to people. But the beauty of being a human, like you mentioned earlier, Ricky, I think that's fantastic that you mentioned that. I'm glad you brought it up, is that we have a way to sort of program ourselves. So there are certain fundamental biological, natural things that make us human that are undeniable. And one must act in accordance with those fundamental natural aspects of being a human to thrive as a human.
Humans that suffer and that fail at life oftentimes deviate from the natural fundamentals of humanity. So that's part of it. But at the same time, we can build our own schematics, and we can, to a certain extent, create our own natural tendencies. So the theme of this book is that the protagonist of the book ends up being successful in life by modifying his nature while simultaneously acting in accordance with it. So this is kind of a sword and sorcery book, kind of a sci-fi book, kind of like a cosmic parable sort of a thing here. Like I said, I'm trying to combine both books together here, but it's a battle. The whole thing is about a battle for life. I haven't got a lot of this figured out yet. I'm just outlining it. So Ricky, I can't give you a very concise plot, but that's essentially it, is that there's a battle for life in the known universe. The winner of that battle is granted permission to spread life throughout the universe. And in order to be the winner of this particular battle, that protagonist has to create his nature while acting in accordance with it in combat, is the theme of this thing. Sort of. I think so. It's a love story too. It's a love story. Well, I can't tell you. I don't want to tell you because I'm not so sure yet. So I don't know if you know what love is. But I want you to show me. I want to know what love is. Ricky wants to know what treats is. Who am I talking to now? Wait a second. I can't say Ricky in the third person like that.
Yeah, man, I think you really lost the plot of this video. This thing's gone on too long already. You're starting to sing and stuff like that. I see you're beating up a little sweat right now. It's kind of hot out here in this camper. Why don't you put the air conditioning on, huh?
Well, if I put the air conditioning on, it makes a whole lot of noise. And then, it kind of ruined the video.
Right. So, why don't you just end this video then, put the air conditioner on, and feed me some darn treats? How about that?
Okay, fair enough.